Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you this week?
I'm having a great week. How about you?
I'm having a good week, too. It is now October. We are right in fall. The weather has changed up here in the Northeast. The foliage is starting to change, and with that comes Halloween. And so tonight we're going to talk about a couple of different Halloween experiences, primarily one, but I know you wanted to lead off with something, but we're going to go back and revisit our friends over at Gaylord Palms for the main focus of our show tonight.
You know, we've talked about Halloween in Walt Disney World. We talk about it every year. I think 90% of the world who's ever traveled to Disney, even not in fall, knows about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Sure.
But over the years, as our friends over at Universal have grown, they've added on, and we're seeing Gaylord add a lot more. So we want to talk about all the options because I don't know how they do it. It is not as limited as Disney would like us to believe, but over and over and over again, the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties are sold out way in advance, and maybe you didn't plan far enough, maybe you didn't think it was for you, or quite frankly, maybe you decided it was too expensive for you.
Sure.
So we're going to talk about a lot of different options, some that use my favorite F word, free.
It's not always the F word that you're talking about when prices get a little too high. So free is definitely the word that we want to use.
Family show here.
Exactly.
Free is our F word.
Exactly. But for reference, episode 242, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Give us just, 10 or 15 seconds for those that didn't listen to that show, exactly what that party is.
It is trick-or-treating through the park, getting candy, seeing characters dressed as other things. There is a little bit with the hitchhiking ghosts. They do their parade twice nightly. And probably the scariest thing that you will see, as long as the weather cooperates and it's nice and dry, is the very opening of the nighttime parade is the famous ride of the Headless Horseman. So you've got that tiny bit of scare factor for kids, but it is a fun, family-friendly event. The only thing that keeps it from always being fun and family-friendly, in my mind, are the expensive cost and that it is 7 to midnight. So sometimes it is not necessarily what we recommend for our families with young children. And the event I'm going to talk to now, we 1,000% do not recommend for children under 13. Mm-hmm. In fact, Universal puts a warning on its site before you purchase tickets. And it says, event may be too intense for young children and is not recommended for children under the age of 13. They do not allow costumes or costume masking. And that is, as it is aptly named, Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay.
I will tell you that I think under the age of 13 is a conservative number.
Okay.
For many of us, it should not be for anybody under the age of 40 or 50. If you are not a scary thrill seeker, this is not the event for you. It is filled with people who work for Universal running around the park with chainsaws that are in action, truly haunted houses where everything under the sun pops out at you. Again, even some chainsaws. There's this recurring chainsaw theme that they have. I have friends who adore it and think it is the highlight of their year. But that is for those of you who love the ultimate scare and ultimate horror. They do something kind of unique. And there must be a lot of horror fans out there, way more than I imagine, because it is 5 nights a week in October, $83 to $123 a person. But Universal does get a very large local draw, or maybe you're there for a week and this is totally your thing. They sell a frequent flyer ticket which
Huh.
certainly, depending how you can make use of it, makes this a very inexpensive night out, because for $240 plus tax, you get unlimited access for the season.
Wow.
So you can really bring that cost down to, 12 to 30 or $40 a visit, depending how many times you go. I don't have the stomach for even an hour of it. So kudos to all of you who love the scare. Again, this is not our family friendly event, but maybe you've got teens or you're an adult only trip and scare is your jam. This is it for you. Universal Halloween Horror Nights.
Now let me ask you a question. When you say the $240 for the frequent flyer ticket, you're paying. You're getting into the parks too. So that gets you in to experience all the things in the parks as well, or is it just a specific section that you're attending?
So it is their Halloween event. It doesn't have all of the attractions open.
Okay.
So it is a little bit different. But again, I could personally see myself going to Mickey's Not So Scary multiple times in a season.
Right.
If I could buy kind of the equivalent of an annual pass just for the parties.
Got it.
And there's a lot of weekend ones. But like I said, with it being 5 nights a week, if scare is your jam, even if you only went to 2 parties or 3 parties,
Sure. You're still hitting your number.
It still really brings it down to a good cost to do that add-on event.
Yeah.
Once you are there are some other add-ons within the event. They do use their Fast Pass equivalent line system. They do have special tours of the Halloween horror houses. You can actually get a tour of the house during the day without 100% of the scare. So they haven't missed the marketing angle for this. There's plenty of add-ons for you, but again, this is not for children under 13. I think it's in many cases not for children under 18, depending on your kids. And it's not even for all adults,
Sure.
but those who go, that frequent flyer and some of the friends I have who have gotten 8, 10, 12 nights out of it. For those of you that love the scare, this is definitely the place to be.
So the reason behind today's entire show is that it's really to kind of explain that this fall season, this Halloween season, the amount of options that are now in this area have really just kind of exploded. So you've got this Halloween horrors. We talked about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And then the rest of the show tonight, we're going to talk about what they're doing over at Gaylord Palms. You know, we had spoken about Gaylord Palms a few weeks ago with some of the other things that they're doing. And tonight is really about what they're offering for Halloween.
And they've actually rolled out 9 Halloween events. I think that's really impressive. Some are going to be small things we'll talk about. You can do them anytime on your own. And again, that great free word comes back. Some of them are limited dates and times or do have a cost associated with them. But again, when you look at a single night at the Halloween party in Walt Disney World or a single Halloween Horror Nights, this really, a lot of the activities are going to be great for little ones. And I think there's a focus here on some tweens, things that are great for them, or honestly, adults that just want to get a bit of the Halloween feel in.
Okay. So I guess run us through really what some of these things are so that people can pick and choose and see what really works for them.
You bet. They call it their Goblins and Giggles season. So it gives you an idea. It's as opposite of horror as we get. We're looking for giggles here.
Yeah.
And they start with a Monster Mash ghost party. Everybody is encouraged to come in costume. There is prizes for the winners. It is $18 to enter their party in one of their ballrooms. Fun evening. It is limited Friday and Saturday evenings. Check out all the costumes. Have some ghoulish food, a little bit of Halloween music, a little bit of a dance party, and get involved in all the fun.
Well, that's fun. Okay, what else do they have?
And they've backed it up perfectly to head outside to the lawn for their Spooktacular Symphony in the Sky. And when we covered Gaylord for the first time just a couple of weeks ago, we talked about their new summer drone show. Obviously, summer is gone, which means not only is the Gaylord drone show gone, but sadly the Disney Springs show is gone. So if you want to see those drones in the sky making those different formations, free event. Keep in mind, I am going to keep referencing free event, but we talked last time, Gaylord does have a parking charge.
Sure.
So you can park, or if you don't need car seats, I highly suggest grabbing an Uber or a Lyft from Disney. You're going to pay about the same to Uber round trip as you would to park, and then you're not driving around figuring out where you're heading.
Right.
So that Spooktacular Symphony in the Skies is free on their outer lawn, and from its spooktacular name, ghosts, goblins, pumpkins, all kinds of great Halloween sights form in the sky for close to a 7-minute show.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. And like you said, that's free of charge. So that's something
free of charge Friday and Saturday evenings.
Okay. What else do
Definitely
they
check the Gaylord site.
Yeah.
As we're getting to that fall time of year, I will tell you that the one thing that I personally hate about fall is we start to see that sunset earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
And so you will see some changes in times, things to look for. Definitely give them a call. If you are not familiar, Gaylord is a chain, so make sure you are talking to Gaylord Orlando. They definitely have the most Halloween activities, but some of the Gaylords around the country are starting to introduce some of these as well, so times may vary.
Okay. What else do they have? Because I know that there's a significant number of them, so I'm just going to keep saying, what else?
What else?
Yeah.
What else? They've got the pumpkin meet and greet. So if your child loves characters, this is it. They have created their own pumpkin character. It is unlike no other. It is Spookly, the square pumpkin.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but it sounds
He's
appealing.
a square-shaped pumpkin. So he's orange with that little stem, but as we know, most pumpkins, they've always called them round. I think the baby one's a round. The average-sized pumpkin is more of an oval.
Sure.
But we'll meet Spookly. He is a square. He's available 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, like a character meet and greet.
Yeah.
You can meet him. He only will really nod his head at you. He does not have full conversations. And that is Saturday, late mornings, early afternoons. Come take a picture. And that is free. And the next couple of items we'll talk about are also free and available anytime. So if you're looking to do that add-on, maybe it's departure day and your flight doesn't leave till 5 p.m. and you don't want to do a park ticket, it's a great opportunity for you.
So one of the things that I know we do all the time up here in the Northeast is we tend to walk around outside areas, right? There's a tremendous amount of pumpkin patches, farms, things like here in the Garden State where you're walking around spaces and really experiencing the fall. It sounds like this next thing is kind of in that vein, only in Florida.
It is. And I will say we have done those. And again, my children are older than Jeff. So we have done in New York, the big thing is the flaming jack-o'-lantern walks, which are amazing.
Right.
This is a anytime jack-o'-lantern walk. So they are not flaming, but you can go at 8 in the morning or 8 at night. They have taken 4.5 acres of their garden and filled it with jack-o'-lanterns, jack-o'-lantern creations, sculptures, all kinds of unique takes on a jack-o'-lantern, and you can just wander their garden for a little bit. So again, pair it with the pumpkin meet and greet. It's a great free day. As I mentioned last time, there's not a lot of low-cost dining at Gaylord, but it does pair perfect with an ice cream because, again, it is fall, but it is fall in Orlando, so it's still 80 degrees out.
Yes. It's never cold, really. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 days a year where they could say it's cold. All right, what's next?
Our next event is the only one not open to the public. All of the things that I will mention are available to anybody, but a free event for their overnight guests only on Saturdays from 4 to 5. They do a trick-or-treat expedition, and it is a free candy hunt. Walk through, do some trick-or-treating, get lots of candy. And even though that's not going to be an option for the majority of people listening to this, because most of you are probably staying over at Disney property, it's a good thing to know to avoid. There's nothing worse than being there to do some of these free things we talked about, and your child is in the atrium and watching all these other kids trick or treat, and you have to explain why they can't.
Yes.
So for those of you not at Gaylord, Saturday 4 to 5, avoid the main lobbies.
Okay. We've got a couple more that I know you wanted to highlight. This next one sounds interesting to me.
It's an adventure kids hunt for a hidden treasure. You can do it any time of the day, any day of the week. Think of it similar to some of those Epcot hunts. You're going to pay $13 in advance for your treasure book. Hunt through the atrium. It is 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily so that somebody is available to give you your prize at the end. So again, a great little option. It works for all ages to head out and start looking for things.
And it's a significantly long window, right? 10 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. Like that's, you don't have to be pigeonholed by some short period of time. You do not.
So you can pair it on the Saturday with the pumpkin meat, with the jack-o'-lantern walk, pair it with the next thing that I'm going to talk about that is Friday and Saturday evenings, the Phantom of the Atrium. I'm sorry, Phantom of the Atrium is nightly at 9 p.m.
Right.
And their entire atrium lights up. It's just under a 6-minute show. So this is going to be different from the Spooktacular Symphony with multiple things in the sky. This one is indoors, so obviously not impacted by rain. And essentially, atriums, as you all know, those high ceilings, they've kind of created a light show. It is not all done through lasers. They've actually kind of put up some lighting panels, and they tell a little bit of a spooky story, you know, not for your little ones that are ultra sensitive, but it works for most. It's got a couple of 15, 20-second music snippets in it. But again, Phantom, as its name implies, a little bit of a ghost story held in the evening.
Very cool. All right, we're coming towards the end. We've got like one or two more things that I know you did want to mention before we said goodbye.
The Adventure Kids Spooky Celebration. You can meet their two mascots. Again, a lot of these big companies in Florida don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk with talking about endangered species and our habitats. They have Seth the sea turtle and Eva the alligator, their costume characters. You can come out and meet them at 12, 1, or 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Notice that pairs perfectly with those on the half-hour meets with Squarely the Pumpkin.
Sure does.
They'll do a little bit of a light show and a story time for kids.
Well, that's good. I mean, and I like that they're bookending it with some of these other things. So it sounds like they're really creating an opportunity to spend some significant time there. My guess is that's to maybe pull some future guests away from where they're currently staying.
I think there may be an element of that. I'm also thinking that there's a little bit of signage. They do a phenomenal winter ice, as they call it, a monster ballroom that you can walk through with huge ice sculptures. They really shine in the winter time. So they're kind of calling it out. Hey, we're here. So locals do it. A lot do it who are not as local, but driving distance for a night. But I do think it's really starting to have some pull for some of our Disney folks.
All right. I know you got one more here that you wanted to mention. This one, I'm glad you saved for last, because to me, just at the name of what it is seems the most interesting to me.
The Pirates Haunted Treasure Escape Room. So by now, escape rooms have become a thing. Probably everybody knows a little bit about what an escape room is. This, again, is going towards our tweens or an adults-only night. It is ages 10 and up. Groups of 4 through 7 can participate. This one does have a fee, and it is only on Fridays and Saturday evenings. This one, I definitely recommend advance reservations so that you're not disappointed. It's $120 for up to your party of 4. Add on an extra, I don't know how they did their pricing. It's a little odd to me. Add on $19 for a 5th person, $20 for a 6th person, and another $20 for a 7th person.
Got it.
So pick your size group and see if you can escape from the pirates.
It sounds fun. It sounds interesting. It sounds different. It's cool. And what I like about what we talked about tonight is that, we spend so much time talking about Disney, which is really our first love and our main love here. But the Orlando area is just adding things that if you wanted to try different things, there's a lot to be done here in this particular season. And I appreciate you taking the time to go over, a bunch of them kind of in rapid succession, but spending some significant time on what they're doing over at Gaylord because they're doing some great stuff.
It's my pleasure. And I think what we're seeing, not that Disney hasn't been around now for 50 plus years and continues to grow, but we're seeing people, maybe not such an altruistic idea in adding these things, but looking for their piece of the pie and maybe looking to capture your non-prime Disney audience and putting out some great add-on offers. So I'm sure we'll be coming to you with more things from around the Orlando area.
Sandy, you have a great week.
You as well.
That's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share, have them like, and subscribe. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week. And as always, keep making memories.